What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Going Deeper edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by Ellie and Amanda. What's new? What's going on?
Oh, I wanted to ask you about your weekend because you attended a very special event.
Wells and Sarah got married.
You were in attendance.
It was.
But it was kind of on lockdown in terms of social.
Top notch. Well,
I mean, you went on Sofia Vergara's Instagram, so were you really there?
That's true.
I wasn't. I still can't believe she did that. It was awesome. It was...
Walk us through it. I want to feel like I was there.
It was in wine. Well, it was like 2 hours. I forgot what city. I think
San Luis Obispo?
I think they filmed at least scenes of The Hitching Post was there out of this movie Swingers. Great movie. I don't know the town. It's like 3 hours up from LA. 2-3 hours. Lovely town. Strong Dutch community.
Oh, my people.
Really quaint town. The wedding was top notch. I mean, it absolutely competed with Ashley and Jared's, which is, I've always said was the best wedding I went to. Different. You can't beat Wells and Sarah's wedding.
Okay, but you got to give us a little more.
I don't know. It was like,
walk us
it was
through
at a
the
winery.
Day. The food.
They had a, oh my God, at their greeting party.
Was that on Friday?
That was on Friday.
Okay.
The best sliders. Maybe one of the best sliders I ever had. And honestly, you know me, when it comes to wedding food, don't go hungry is my mantra. Except there's exceptional food. Everything about the wedding was exceptional.
Wow.
I don't know how it was just like even the views from the wedding, it like overlooked this cliff. It was like, oh my God. Definitely were tears. Both Sarah and Wells' vows were quite beautiful.
They write their own?
They did. Sarah's was really great. Wells was great, but like Sarah's, I think, pulled on the heartstrings even more. Wells's brother gave a great best man speech. The maid of honor speech was also fantastic. Even those speeches were good.
Who was her maid of honor?
One of her good friends. I don't know if I'm supposed to out her.
Okay. There were Wells mentioned.
Yeah, but great maid of honor speech.
Wells mentioned several wardrobe changes when he was.
I think
on
Sarah
the
had
show.
5 dresses.
That's how. Was
there
she
was
missing?
The wedding dress. Then there was definitely I think a dress for the father of the bride, mother of the bride. I don't know. I don't fucking know. There were a lot of, they all looked nice. And they had the reception, and then they had this band that was amazing, incredible live band, really good. And then after the reception was over, we all took a bus to another reception that had a DJ and a dance floor. It was in a food truck. It was incredible. Like an after hours. Oh my God. It was amazing. It was you can't beat this wedding. You could do something. It can be matched. It cannot be beaten.
Wow.
I won't try to beat it at all. I won't even try to match it. I had a fun meet cute with Sarah's parents, which was slightly embarrassing. But so before we're on our way, we're at our way to the Friday's gathering party, and I'm always meeting a lot of new people. And I assumed I would meet people I had met once or twice before. And I went to Natalie, I'm like, let me know who I've met before. Because I can be bad about remembering certain people. And I hate the whole
Hannah Burner.
Feeling like an idiot. And then Chris Soul says to me, he goes, I've never met a politician who doesn't just say, good to see you. And I'm like, that's fucking genius. Why haven't I been my whole life? Why haven't I just been saying, good to see you? Why do I always look so fucking confused when I meet people all the time? So I immediately try to incorporate good to see you. And having a great time, and I locked eyes with who I now know is Sarah's mom. And I was like, hey, and she looked at me and was like, hey. And turns out she watches The Bachelor. So she knew who I was. And we embraced and gave a good hug. And we had this nice chat. And then she's like, oh, I want you to meet my husband. He came over. I'm like, oh God, that's a really cool suit. He had a really nice suit. I complimented him. And then I was like, so how do you know the bride and groom?
No.
She was like, I birthed her.
Yeah. I think she literally said that, maybe. And they definitely gave me a hard time, and I felt embarrassed. And then, but how am I supposed to know?
It's true.
And I was like, oh, Dumbledore. Because he plays Dumbledore on Broadway, Sarah's dad. I don't know if you know that.
You mean Dumbledore?
Is it Dumbledore?
Yeah.
You mean Harry Potter Dumbledore?
Yeah.
You just added
Dumbledore?
I don't watch Harry Potter. I don't know. I probably
awesome,
said that.
Nick. That's a great discovery that you call Dumbledore.
Now he probably fucking hates me. Anyway, Sarah's parents hate me is the moral of the story. They're lovely people. I do think they might hate me though. But yeah, so that's how I met Sarah's parents. But they're very lovely. It was just a ton of fun. I had a great time.
Did it make you want to
get married?
Make you fantasize about your wedding?
Not really.
Okay.
But not any more than I already have or do. It didn't make me not want to.
There we go.
Other than knowing that my wedding won't look like this. I think
that's impossible. Why don't we remind the people to pre-save your book so that one day you too could have a wedding this elaborate?
Yes, please pre-order my book so I, one too, can have a wedding like Sarah and Wells. It was a fantastic... What could I share that I haven't shared? I mean, Sophia already shared the wedding cake.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a good dance floor moment, if you had any other encounters with like people who you saw at the wedding who you had just
other
like,
famous
moments with.
What color were the bridesmaids?
I got to know
dresses?
Debbie Ryan. I got to meet her. Fun person. We hung out with Debbie.
A little Disney Channel moment.
We got to know her a little bit.
What was like the color scheme?
Of what?
Bridesmaids dresses, decor.
The bridesmaids dresses were like a rose.
Okay. Like a light pink.
Beautiful bridesmaids dresses. Those can obviously not be.
Were they matching?
Jesse Tyler Ferguson married them. Wonderful.
Of course he did.
It was wonderful.
Of course he did.
And it was everything you expect from an Emmy Award-winning actor. It was
known for their comedic timing and heartfelt family portrayal.
Like, honestly, truly exceptional. Reverend, I guess. I don't know. Sermon?
Would you have someone marry you? Or like, are you going to do like a...
No, I'll probably have someone marry me. Yeah.
Like a friend?
I don't know. Everything about the wedding was exceptional.
Wow.
Yeah, so, a lot of Bachelor Nation people.
I just feel like this is like the quintessential like man attends wedding.
I thought you did a good job. No?
Yeah. I just feel I feel like a woman, maybe it's not even a gender thing, but I'm like my girlfriends would have been walking through. So Friday night
they
we
had
got there.
Like even
we
like the seating arrangements came in like these like mini envelopes with like wax on them that like were made in like the 1400s, and like
Love
those
that.
are the seating assignment. I mean, everything was.
Did they have signature cocktails for each of them?
Yes.
What were they?
I just drink whiskey.
Nick,
I just drink on the
killing
rocks.
me.
They had signature cocktails. They had the Sarah Highland, which Natalie enjoyed. It was reddish. It was red.
Do you remember what liquor was in it?
I don't know.
Do we need to just call Natalie to get a run through of the weekend?
It was awesome.
The flowers.
I didn't see any flowers. There were flowers.
Yeah, it wasn't that they weren't there.
Actually,
He just didn't
that's not
notice
true.
them.
I had an individual, beautifully like wilted peach rose on my table for me. It's great. The food was exceptional. Sea bass and steak and this like kale salad that everyone really enjoyed. Top-notch photo booth. On Friday, they had an ice cream and cookie bar. Just a really good vibe. Good people. Could not be beat. I don't know what more I could say. Good to see people. Exceptional wedding. I don't know. It was really well done. It was perfect size. It was fun. What'd you say?
I said, I don't want to repeat it. I said, "Well's done."
It was Wells done.
Yeah.
It was Wells done.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyways,
the Highland
we
Road.
have a fantastic episode today. Oh yeah, please pre-order my book. It'd mean
He
a lot.
too wants to leave little wax-covered notes for his
Yeah.
And
wedding
maybe
attendees.
you want to get married.
I
So if you want to get married, maybe check out this book. That will give you some good advice.
I want me and my audience to be on the New York Times best-selling list.
That would
together.
be lovely.
And I think it's a pretty good book that I think will help people. And if you have a friend going through it in a relationship, I think it'll be better. This will not be a waste of your money. I promise you.
It's one of those things where you're going to read it and be like, this is so good. And you're going to talk to your friends about it. And you're going to have to be like, it's actually really good.
Yes.
Like The Bachelor history is going to require an actually.
It's actually good.
But it's good.
Ellie Zeiler is with us today. It was great talking with Ellie, who recently is going through a breakup. And we got some little breakup tidbits from her. And we cover all your latest pop culture news.
A bit of Selling Sunset.
A
bit of Love is Blind.
Anyway,
a little bit of Harry Styles.
You'll find out. All sports fans out there, don't forget Fandemonium, 6 o'clock Eastern. Talk maybe preseason predictions this week. We'll be talking sports, NFL season, Packers. Check us out on AMP. You can get the link in our show description. 6 p.m. Eastern. Check us out today if you're listening on a Wednesday. Let's get to Ellie. Well, speaking of breakdowns in your bedroom, have you heard of BetterHelp, Ellie?
I have.
Well, we all know that we subscribe to taking care of our mental health on this show, and working with a therapist is a great way of taking care of your mental health. And challenges with getting therapy can be cost and convenience. All things that BetterHelp is trying to make easier for all their customers. Certainly, it's convenient. You can have therapy in the comfort of your home. You can do it in the car. You can do it anywhere as long as you have a smartphone or a computer. You can do therapy sessions over the phone. You could do it without any video. You could do it with video. Whatever you're most comfortable with, all can be very beneficial to you and your mental health. And they're also making it easier to find the right therapist for you because they have so many therapists that they're working with. They're working with thousands of therapists. They're getting more therapists every day. So you can almost guarantee that you can, through maybe some trial and error, find a therapist that you really connect with, someone that you really feel like is helping you and working through whatever problems you have. And those problems might be just general stress. It could be work-related problems, relationship problems. The list goes on and on. And it's just therapy made easy, honestly. It's helped so many people who listen to this show, and it can be helping you in a matter of 48 hours. Truly, people, if you go right now to betterhelp.com/VIALLFILES, you could be talking to a therapist in less than 48 hours. You just give them some basic information, take a quick quiz about what you're looking for in a therapist, and a couple days later, you could be doing your first therapy session. How fun is that? Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/VIALLFILES. That's betterhelp.com/Viallfiles. I was traveling this week. I was seeing Away suitcases everywhere. It was like a little club. Like Away. Clearly Away is doing something well because people are catching on and you can catch on too. And the reason why they are so popular and so convenient is because they are durable. They last long. They have the 360 spinner wheels that help you just glide. You're just like gliding through the airport. They are perfectly sized, especially their carry-ons. They have no issues of someone like being like, is that too big? Can you have to put that in that thing before you can carry it on?
Also, like, a suitcase is something where if you buy one nice one, especially one like Away where they have like a lifetime warranty, they will repair it should anything happen. I can't imagine what, because it's been incredibly durable. But like this is like something you buy once and then get to experience for the rest of your life as like feeling a little like, classy traveler moment every time you get on a plane. It's worth it.
They have this little thing on the side for your laundry. It's super easy to, it just makes a lot of sense.
The charging port in the suitcase so you can charge your phone on the go because Lord knows there aren't enough outlets at an airport.
Away offers free shipping and returns on any non-personalized order within the contiguous US, Canada, and the UK. Plus, they're offering you a 100-day free trial on everything Away makes. So you can take the product on the road, live with it, travel with it, do whatever you want with it, get lost with it, and if you don't like it, you can return it. That has to be non-personalized. You won't, because you'll love it. It's so cost affordable. I mean, what more can we say other than get Away? Start your 100-day trial and shop the entire Away line of travel essentials, including their best-selling suitcases and bags at awaytravel.com/VIALL. That's awaytravel.com/VIALL. Ellie, welcome.
Thanks.
How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Did I
How
say
are
your
you?
name right?
Yeah,
Great.
Ellie.
You looked at me like I was like,
You just said it like, Ellie.
oh yeah, sorry, I just randomly get into it. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. So nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me. It's so cool in here.
Oh, what's new?
Everything and nothing at all.
Everything and nothing. Well, let's talk about the things that are new.
Okay.
You recently got out of a relationship.
I did.
Are you okay?
Depends on I was going to say depends on the day, but it depends on the hour actually.
Depends on the hour.
Yeah.
How fresh is it?
Like a week fresh.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then he left to college. So that is when it was like, cut.
Who broke up with who?
I broke up with him.
Is that better or worse, do you think?
Worse.
Why?
Because I'm like labeled the bad guy in the situation. You know what I mean? We're like
the dumper.
If you were, I'm the dumper.
To yourself, or do you think do you feel like the bad guy? Has he said you're the bad guy, or his friends calling you the bad guy?
All of the above. All of the above.
All the above.
And then like something will happen, or like obviously if we're broken up, if he hooks up with someone else, then it's like, well, you wanted this. I'm like,
are you still talking?
Oh, yes. Sometimes. Wow. I don't know because I don't know how to do this. Like it's so hard to go from...
This is your first breakup?
Yeah. My first relationship as well. And
how long are you guys dating for?
10 months.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a long time for me.
I hear you.
Yeah.
My first time my first girlfriend broke up with me.
Oh, she did break up with you?
Yeah. It was like we were young and like it was our first year of college. I mean, she said she wanted to like explore the world. I think she just met another guy. We got back together like 5 more times, but
that's so mean.
It happens. But I think we were dating for less than a year. I was devastated.
Yeah.
She was definitely the bad guy in my.
In your eyes.
Was he devastated? Were there tears?
Yes. Tears. Multiple times.
How did you do it? What's the worst have you ever been broken up with?
No, this is my first relationship.
Okay. Well, in the 6th grade, I didn't have. I won't say her last name. Kelly.
Oh, I've heard this story. Yeah. Kelly was a twin, no?
She was a twin. I was a friend with her brother, Joe. And we went as a family to the movies. And this is when answering machines were still a thing. And on the answering machine, my whole family was listening. We got home from the movies. I was outside playing. And she left a message that said, "Nick, this is Kelly. You're dumped." Click.
That's like the start to a rap song or something.
That was...
Yeah. Or a Joker origin story.
Yeah.
It's like one of the two.
You're dumped.
And then I was devastated. What have you learned from this breakup so far? It's still fresh.
It's still fresh. I've learned, I think that before I was even in a relationship, I was so cold-hearted, and I was like, why are all these people writing songs about breakups? Like, they can't be that bad. Or why is everyone talking about like breaking up and like a physical pain in your heart when your heart breaks? And now I just totally get it. Like, I totally understand.
Is your ex a public figure?
No, he's not.
He's not.
He's not.
What was that like for you? For someone who obviously like, would you kind of, I mean, I guess overnight, but like you've become incredibly famous in a short period of time.
Thank you. Yeah.
What was that like to date someone who wasn't out of it, and did that cause problems in your relationship? And for your next relationship, I don't know, maybe that will be soon, maybe we won't be for a while, but do you have an opinion on whether that's something you would look for or not in your next relationship?
It's interesting because I try to surround myself with people that don't do social media and don't do what I do, because, and I think that when I first started, I like did try to reach out to people that are in the public eye, and it just never worked out for me.
How so?
It was, I don't know, after a few times getting burned and just like the non-responders or the I'm too busy or the like using you for just to be seen with you, and then it's
felt
over.
Disingenuous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just like, okay, I'm good. I don't need it. Like, I'll just not do it again. Also, I feel like it doesn't put as much pressure on it. That makes sense, where it's like, this is my job, and then I have a social life outside of that. And it's like a good break from in between. Yeah. But dating this guy who didn't do social media, surprisingly, there weren't that many problems with it. Except for like, if you don't do it, you don't necessarily get it. But that was totally fine with him.
But oftentimes in relationships, that's whether it's social media or I guess anything else, like what you do, right? Obviously, it's unique, and it's hard for, I guess, anyone who doesn't do it to relate to. Like you said, if you don't do it, you don't get it.
Yeah.
And in any relationship, if you can't relate or empathize with your partner, it creates disconnect. Even if it's no one's fault. You're just like, oh, you know, like you want to empathize. It's like, oh, I want to understand, but like I'm really having a hard time with this.
Totally.
And, you know, that can sometimes cause conflict if one person is like feels a bit outside of a world that their partner is in.
And that's like that was a big reason why we decided to break up, because I was like, I moved here to LA like 5 months, half a year ago. I'm like fresh here. You're going to go into college where you're going to be dealing with like sororities and frats and parties and things like that like I don't want to focus on. And like, even just with the added on social media now, it's been kind of hard to continue it since we've broken up, just in the past like week or 2 weeks where he's been gone because of the other people involved, meaning like his friends or like new girls or things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, like I couldn't imagine dating, like I'm older. So like I couldn't imagine like dating at 18 or 19 or 20 or 21 with social media today. Because it was hard enough for me when I was like going through heartbreak with my first girlfriend, like wondering what she was doing and who she was hanging out with. It would have been a fucking nightmare to like just be able to like go up their stories and then worry about like why, and then like sometimes you can like mute people's stories, and maybe you mute their story because you don't want them to like see your stories because you feel guilty, but then you don't realize that they could have a Finsta and then they could like look at your stories, and all of a sudden you're like, well, why did they mute my stories? And then like, oh my God, I would have been a fucking mess. All the ways I could just mind fuck myself when I was feeling insecure about.
Me too. It's like self-sabotage.
Yeah,
like as soon as I'm done hanging out with friends, or it's like 9 p.m. and I lay in bed, I'm like, time to just ruin my whole mood and like stalk everyone. And like, obviously I can't go private on my Instagram account. It's my job and it's my career and things like that. And so the fact that I can't see them, but they can see me is very scary.
Would you ever block him? Not that there's anything wrong with him, but do you think you would ever block him just so that you guys could just let each other go? Just because I wonder, you said you still
Sounds like
talk.
the healthy thing to do.
It sounds like you still talk to him, and like first relationships are notorious for the breaking up and getting back together because it's so comfortable and so easy. And it's like the first person you like connected with outside of like your immediate friends and family that like you can tell things to and you feel a level of trust. And then when like shit happens in your life, you want to like reach out to that person, but they're not.
Totally.
And then you kind of go back into a comfort zone. It's a fucking nightmare.
Or it's like the trying with other people. And then it's like, I don't want to have to go through like telling this guy what my favorite color is and my favorite restaurant and what my family is like and all these different things. And I'm just like,
but you had only been broken up for like a couple weeks. Are you?
Yeah, but we were off and on before that.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Maybe we broke up months ago and then we broke up like a month ago.
Was it always you?
Yeah. It was always me being a little bit, maybe too realist. Like I'm like a realist.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing. And like I
wish I was more realistic when I was younger. I'm like, it's fine. Everything will just work out. We're meant to be.
Yeah, that's very much him, which I appreciate because like obviously it's a good, I don't know, like salt and pepper duo where it's like two different things that come together. But I like predicted how I was going to feel in the future, where I knew 2 weeks ago when I was like, it's done, that I was like, okay, in 2 weeks when you go to college and you're with all these girls, like it's really going to bother me. And now it's really bothering me, but it feels a little bit better.
So did you break up with him like as a preventative measure?
Yeah, kind of.
It makes seness though. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're not wrong. New guy, college.
Yeah.
I'm assuming your ex is an attractive fellow.
Yeah.
Girl's going to be into him.
Yeah.
Like he probably should explore these things.
Totally.
That's the hard part. I mean, like me and my first girlfriend, when I look back, it's like, yeah, we really loved each other. We really cared about each other, but we spent so much time, like, we tried to experience life that all people should experience, all while trying to like, we were like too afraid to let each other go. And that just created a lot of like toxic situations and a lot of like hurt and heartbreak because like we were kind of like, we didn't want to face the reality of like
being like
living life and like meeting or just like, hey, it's tough to like, we were going to different colleges and I missed out on a lot of experiences because I was trying to make it work with her and then we would break up and it's just like, it's tough to do. So good on you for like knowing that.
When did you like stop? If you
it was a 7-year thing. So be careful. Yeah, I'm just, like heads up. Like don't do what I did. It was we dated off and on for 7 years.
I'm curious, like, not only was social media playing a role kind of like in romantic relationships, but just like as a whole, like, do you have boundaries that you try to implement for yourself? Or like, how do you kind of balance the idea that on one hand, it is very much work. And so there's a professional element, but there's also this kind of personal element of wanting to stay grounded and stay present in the moment as opposed to not totally screen lock.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that in the past couple of weeks, like I used to be, before this all happened, I used to be very good at being like, this is my job and I'm going to post for this. And then after like it's a Friday night, so I can have dinner with my friends and like turn off my phone and that will be fine. With a breakup, it's like a whole other side to it because let's say I didn't have this following and like I was still like, I was going to college and like all of these things, I would be posting things to show the other person that I was really busy and doing all these different things. And I've noticed that is really what I've been doing. And so balance hasn't necessarily been there, but I'm not mad about it. It's fine because at the end of the day, it's like more content for other people, which is totally good. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but it's how I've been feeling recently.
Have you chosen to, like, where do you decide how to like open up about your feelings about the breakup or being sad? You don't.
No.
That must be a decision you made, because a lot of people in your position lean into that.
Yeah. And for me, I think number one, my feelings change so often where like one day I'll be like, I just want to not talk about it ever. And then the other day, like, oh, I have this new aspect on relationships that I really want to talk about. But again, it's like respecting the other person's privacy, as well as like, I know that other people are going to see it that are like in his life that I don't want to piss off as well. So I think it's just, I definitely have like a guard up on that aspect.
You seem very considerate, like you care about him. And
I care. Yeah. He's my best friend. And it's so
Still.
hard. Yeah. That's what's so hard. And that's what I really have realized is that it's like you're best friends with this person. You see them every single day. You love them so much for years or months, however long it is. And then it's like you break up. And in my opinion, friendship breakups are even worse than like love breakups. And so when it's together and like both of them, that's like, oh, that's really rough.
oh, because he also was your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, it's tough to miss that person that you counted on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you guys are going to get back together.
I don't think so, but yeah.
Great. It's just tough.
Yeah.
And so
That's
you don't
it.
think so? We're donezo.
No, I don't think so, because now it's moved on to the kind of like, and I don't want to be too specific and like hurt his feelings,
Sure.
but like it's moved on to the classic like toxic relationship where now it's like being with other people just to like be with other people. And like it's very obvious that we're really nice to each other and like nice to each other's faces, but like to our own friends, we're like, oh no, like
You're
we don't
venting.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of shit talking behind each other's back.
Totally. And like if my friends were to be like, are you still talking with him? I'd be like, no, like absolutely not. Are you crazy? Because I know that they would be mad at me.
How often are you still talking?
Depends. Like like today, for example, was his first day of college and school. So I was like, good luck at school. And then he was like, thanks, or like, thank you. And like knowing me, I would have been like, try not to go with anyone in econ. But like I did it. I had self-control today. I chose niceness.
When's his birthday?
June.
Wait,
why?
are you going to text him? Happy birthday?
I don't know. That's so long. That's like in a year. It's also it's very hard to like move on from someone when there's not someone else, is like what I've realized as well, where it's like you again are like really close with someone and then you'll go on a date with someone else and they just suck. You're like, oh, I really ruined that relationship with blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's the hard part of dating. You're just you meet more frogs than princes. You gotta, you gotta shift through dirt to find gold. Like you're always gonna meet more. That's how it should be.
All the
Otherwise,
cliches are so true.
they're true. Well,
Yeah.
otherwise, because otherwise it's not special. Then you don't get excited for the one person when you do have a really good date. If they're all good,
Yeah.
like you're supposed to hate most of your dates.
Oh, yeah. That's a good,
Right?
yeah.
I think so. Not hate, not get excited all the time. If you're getting excited all the time, then yikes.
Okay.
No? All the time? Every date. Like, oh my God, they were amazing.
Absolutely not.
No.
I
Yeah.
hate dating.
I think you can see value in people for different
No,
reasons.
I don't mean you-
Yeah,
yeah,
like
I
you
don't-
can kind of like. I think it depends on how
It's
imaginative.
like they're nice
you
for
are.
someone else
Yeah.
who's not me.
Yeah. me
Yeah,
too.
the amount of, I feel like the majority of dates are like, okay, well, not my person, but
Yeah.
And how
But
do you
I feel like I always go into it very much like,
optimistic?
oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Figs. I mean, figs. It's a vibe
Oh my
for your
god.
healthcare workers out there.
So my sister has told me that she's forever indebted to me because she got some figs, and I was asking her what makes them so different.
Your
And
sister, the doctor.
yes. I was asking her, like what the difference is, because obviously as non-medical professionals, we don't really know. And she was saying that the typical scrubs that she gets at a hospital are basically the consistency of paper. Like they're so thin and scratchy and uncomfortable. And my sister's tiny. She's like 5'3", 100 nothing pounds. And she says like she gets the same scrubs as a guy who's like a 3XL. So she's just drowning in them all the time. And now she has like a fitted, tailored look of super soft fabric in any color she wants. And I think she's probably providing better care when she's wearing her
She's
figs.
feeling more comfortable. Ridiculously soft proprietary 4-way stretch fabric, moisturizing, wicking, anti-wrinkle, anti-odor, up to 20 pockets on some styles. Easily customize yours with text and icon embroidery if you want. And also, if you don't have to be a doctor. They're like incredibly comfortable. They're stylish.
I wear them on walks all the time because it's like, I'm like, nothing in my everyday life can get me dirtier than I would be at a hospital. And I know these were designed for like a hospital setting. So it's very reassuring if you're like, I just want to like go, I might go on a hike, I might get kind of dirty. Like you just know you're wearing high quality, durable material that's going to be easy to clean.
So get yourself some scrubs. Get the healthcare workers in your life some scrubs. They will appreciate you. I mean,
Also, shout out to the Fig socks. I ordered a few pair of socks from them. Very breathable, very lovely.
good pair of
Doesn't
socks are hard to
surprise me.
find. Yeah.
Figs is doing everything right.
Head to wearfigs.com and use code VIALL to get 50% off your first order. That's WEARFIGS.com. Promo code VIALL. How do you want to meet people? Are you dating apps? Are you like DM slides? Do you want to do the I'm going to go hang out at a coffee shop and hope someone hits on me? Do you hit on? Would you approach a guy that you were interested in?
I'm figuring all of this out because it's not like I don't go anywhere, but I don't have to go anywhere. Like I don't go to a physical school. I don't go to a physical job. If I wanted to, I could just be alone in my apartment and like no one would skip a beat in my career and things like that. So I'm figuring out where the best guys hang out and like how does that work? I don't necessarily want to meet someone on a dating app because I think that they're like, I don't know, that scares me. And also being on social media, it's weird because, not weird, but like someone can look you up. And again, it's like they can see everything that you're doing, but you don't necessarily know everything that they're doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, I know a lot about you already type of energy.
Yeah. And then like you get into like, I don't know what their intentions are and classic things like that.
How do you feel about being set up?
I feel good about being set up because I think that's how I'm going to go about it, where it's like if we have mutual friends, like then that's good. That's like a good leeway into something. You know what I mean?
Are you going to be like alone for a while? Is this like a period of like singleness for Ellie, or is it more like you're eager to find someone else because even though you just broke up with him, it's been an off and on thing for a while, and you kind of maybe want to like start the next chapter of relationships?
I think like at the beginning, I was very much like eager to just forget about it and like move on and things like that. And now I'm leaving it up in the air, you know, if it happens, it happens. But also I'm not going to be like, I'm staying single for this amount of months. Because I also feel like when you break up with someone, a lot of people are like, it's time to work on myself. I personally, like, I work on myself all the time. I feel pretty good about myself that, like, I think, again, if it happens, it happens. But I'm not going to, like, sign up for all these dating apps and, like, go for it. You know what I mean?
That's great. What are ways you work on yourself that you find helpful that you think people would benefit from if they started doing too? Like, is it just a mindfulness? Like, how do you always try to stay present? Because it can be hard for people. Like, you know, I always try to have balance, but balance can be tough. Because like, if you're like really fixated on a relationship, whether it's going good or bad, sometimes we can kind of lose ourselves in those things and not necessarily prioritize like, you know, aspects of ourselves we have to work on. How are you able to do that? Because it can be a challenge for people.
Well, first, I think that was another reason why I thought to break up with him in the beginning is because I really value like my alone time and my own opinions on things and things like that. And I noticed that like maybe this is a problem that I might need to work on in therapy. And so we could figure that out. But it's like getting too close to someone where you can't see yourself being alone. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like a little...
Like a codependency.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
You're kind of like, do you like envision like, what would I do if I didn't have them here to get through this moment kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. I guess the things that I do, I mean, it's just basic stuff. Like I have like my routine set. I try to learn things by myself. I do all the things that make me feel good. I have like friends and work out and things like that. So, I mean, it's basic, but also it works for me. So, I don't know. Feels good.
But also it sounds like just having that mindset, like it's a priority for you to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like another, I mean, of course, breaking up with someone, there are multiple reasons that go into everything. Like another reason was that I think that I was neglecting not neglecting, but like ever since I was younger, I always felt like I only needed like my family and things and like one or two really close friends. And so I was getting to the point where I only had like I'm super, super close with my family. And then I was like super, super close with this guy who is again my best friend and boyfriend. Envisioned him moving away and was like, oh shoot, I need to like start branching out and making more friends. So I'm personally really proud at how much I've like stayed busy and distracted myself. I've gotten a lot of advice that like that's the best thing to do. But yeah, I think that where I struggle is when I'm like not distracting myself and then I'm like sat just alone.
Yeah, I think it's a common challenge.
Yeah, it's a common
What
challenge.
to keep busy. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I don't know if Danielle and Nick are going to be staying busy from Love is Blind. We had a lot of big Love is Blind breakups this week. It's like,
Thanks
yeah,
for making me feel better about that. What are your guys' opinions on that?
Well, it's just,
I mean, they got married and having known each other for weeks.
it was a big breakup this past week. There was Ayana and Jarrett split, and then also Nick
Back
and
to
Danielle.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty close.
Do you think do they have like are contracts up? This just feels like convenient.
There's not. I think it's weird that the timing is like so close.
Mm-hmm.
It might be something as simple as once one did, one of them felt like okay to
They had the same divorce attorney, and it like just took them a little bit.
whatever, like sorry they broke up. Not shocked, I was rude. It was funny when Ayana and Jarrett broke up. I was talking with Natalie, my girlfriend, and I'm like, oh well, shocker, Nick and Danielle, the only successful couple, and then like a day later they announced their divorce.
Totally. Well, it was interesting because in an earlier article or interview that they'd done, they spoke about how, quote, we're trying to take every single day to figure out how to interpret what the other person is saying because my definition of something could be entirely different to what they think it is. And so I'm curious, like, if
They said that? Who said that?
Danielle. And so I'm curious, like, if that's something like how in relationships you think you can navigate, like, both identifying the points where you might be misinterpreting what the other person is saying and also what you think the primary areas where that can arise is.
Yeah. How often did you and your ex, while in a relationship, like fight or disagree?
It seemed like we wouldn't disagree at the beginning of it, and then like at the end it was getting to be over everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is a challenge sometimes too. It's tough. Like in your situation, it sounds like probably, correct me if I'm wrong, that the fights, the conflict had to do with maybe some of the changes you guys knew were coming and things like that, and that pressure. But I think like, what she was saying too, in relationships, it's like when you first fight with someone in a relationship, I don't know how it was with you, but like you see a different side of the people, or just even conflict where you disagree. And then you realize that's the most frustrating part too. It's like you have your first fight, and then after you resolve that fight, you realize that we probably didn't have to fight for that first 45 minutes, but we weren't seeing, like we weren't like
it took the first 45 minutes to get to the 2 minutes at the end that was actually productive.
Right? Because you're just like you're not listening, you're arguing, you're fighting, and it sounds like that was like a really nice way of her saying we fight a lot and we're trying to figure out how not to.
Right. And this is from when they're still trying to make it work. I think it's in like the idea of a relationship starting at marriage. Do you think that incentivizes them to be a little bit more, like, to what extent, like having been on kind of reality TV and also for them being in the public eye, to what extent do you think they have more of an incentive or just more pressure to have a good relationship or a successful
There's
one?
definitely incentive and pressure to have a successful relationship when your whole social media platform is based off the relationship that started on a show. I think the big question is trying to figure out, like, because even when I was going through it, like I knew I was being influenced by the pressures of the show, and I also felt real feelings, and trying to figure out which one's stronger or which one is having more impact in any given moment is the real challenge.
Right. And you also have the commentary from everybody else. And that was something that Harry Styles mentioned in his interview with Rolling Stone. He spoke a lot about how there's this corner of the internet that is just going to say atrocious things about the people he dates no matter what. And it made me wonder, you know how the saying, if you marry someone, you marry their family? When you date someone, do you date their fans?
I think so, probably.
Yes.
Was like, did you keep your boyfriend pretty private from your audience? Or did people
At
know?
the beginning, I didn't. And he was very much like on social media with me, and I would show him a lot. And then like months and months ago, we broke up for the first time. And that was really hard, like just deleting everything and everyone's opinions on things. And so then I kept things even more private. So I don't know what the...
Do you think your audience will be critical of like who you choose to date in the future going forward? Because like audiences, your fans can be, well, fans, but also like, you know, they have this sense of like, I know you, I care about you, I want the best for you, even though you didn't ask for any insight or opinions.
It's literally like your friends.
Yeah,
like your
and you're
friends
just
who are
like-
like, I don't
And
know.
they get a little judgy about the people that you include in your lives. Is that something that you think about or like are mindful of, or is that part of why you private? Because like if you're
sure.
Harry, like yeah,
That's
it must be
such a good like relation where it is just like your family or your friends, you know?
yeah.
Also, it's like if you're dating Harry Styles, like I feel like you should just go into it with that. Like, you know, you're gonna
It's gotta
get
be
hate.
tough.
It's okay.
It's gotta be
so
tough,
tough.
because like no matter what, eventually it's hard not to believe that. It's hard not to let that seep in.
Yeah.
You know, so you can tell yourself all the time, like, oh, that's just one. There's only 5 hateful comments, but like it feels like 50, or 50 feels like 500.
I also wonder if the fear of being Harry Styles' partner is they're right about me, or what if he thinks they're right about me?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so true.
But it's like Harry fans, though, that's just like a different level. Like people would like, there are deep Harry Styles fans where it's just like
we're talking the Tumblr generation.
yes,
That's
like,
what I'm
they're
saying is either
so,
way,
like,
it could like,
no matter
you know?
who he's dating, they're gonna like
Yeah.
send you death threats because they want to marry him, like, and they think it's
Oh,
possible.
Oh, it's because they want to marry. Oh,
Yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
hardcore,
Like,
these
mhm.
people.
Like
Yeah.
fierce protection. But yeah, do you feel like with your fans, like, do you feel like you can impact, to what extent do you feel like you can impact their behavior or kind of guide them in directions that you want?
I think that for me, okay, at the beginning, they were like impacting like what I was thinking about. Again, when you see something so many times, you start to believe it. And so that's why like, I guess my advice on that would just be like, be more private about things. That's why it's like with my next relationship, I don't know if that, I mean, it just completely depends on the person, but like, I don't know if that's going to be something that I want to focus on or not. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, it's a hurdle.
Yeah,
It's a whole nother conversation.
Do you watch Selling Sunset?
I do.
Okay, what do you think about Christine leaving?
I don't know what the show's gonna be anymore.
Literally.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah, I have no idea what the show's gonna be anymore. Also, have you seen Jason's new girlfriend? Did you see
Oh.
that one?
I did.
Yep.
You did.
Yeah, this seems like an odd pairing.
Odd pairing.
Yeah. Here's what I know. I don't know how it's going to be, but I do know how it's going to be. And that someone else, well, see, like Christine's a star. Like she, Villain, whatever you want to call her, but she is a star. And so only people have that star quality, but they will find that from someone else.
Yeah.
So while all these women from the show who are speaking negatively about her, they're going to get their drama. You know, they always get their
They're
drama.
not gonna make a whole season without any villain.
Right,
I just hope
exactly.
that it's
So,
as
like-
good as her.
so the
because she
question
was
is-
so good.
So the
She
question
did it
is,
well.
who in the current Selling Sunset cast, I know they're bringing in 2 people, and maybe it will be from those 2 newbies, but who do we think can or who will they turn on?
Well, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Ellie, about how friendship breakups are so painful. And I think part of the reason Christine was able to stir the pot in the big way was she had these long-standing relationships with people. Like her
Oh,
and
that's
Mary were
so
roommates.
true.
So it wasn't just, oh, you're being atrocious in this setting. It's like, and we have this history before the cameras and before the
That's
TV where I
true.
really thought we were friends. So it's
Wow,
like, can you
yeah.
get that same level of drama without the like
Not-
pre-existing relationship?
Maybe not with the new cast, maybe not with the new ones, but what about like these cast people, these the women, obviously you have Jason and his brother. They have relationships. They're going to get the drama somehow. It's
They
just a
have
matter
to.
of who's going to take the
But
bullet.
like we said, is someone going to do it as well as Christine? Because I think she is a mastermind at what she's
good.
created on TV, what she's created on social media, the way she interacts with her fans versus her persona on the show. Like she really...
How much do you think that's who she is, or it's a mastermind kind of masterclass? And
I don't know. I mean, every time I've interacted with her, she's been nothing but like sweet and nice and over the top friendly. And so it's like hard for me feeling like I somewhat know the person behind the screen to then see. But then I also have such doubts because what was at the end of season 5 or when she and Mary had that like final kind of like, and I was like, I don't agree with you in this. You're not making sense. So it was
That's where I feel
it was
like,
such this like cognitive dissonance because it's like, I've always like, I don't even know. Like I was like, I see the questions Mary's asking you and you're not answering them specifically.
and at the end, it just started to be so like such crazy lies that she was telling, like such crazy situations where I was like expecting it to end. You know what I mean? Where like, oh, is it the last episode or the last couple of episodes where she paid someone not to work?
Well, but then she goes on Call Her Daddy and says that whole thing was a lie and she would have never paid someone that. And she was like, they needed a reason for me to leave the brokerage. She now has a brokerage with her husband that utilizes cryptocurrency for people to buy houses. Like there is a lot of wheels turning.
Will she have her own show?
Right? That's the thing. And there was a statement from her team
soon.
of she didn't want to be part of an ensemble cast. She said from the beginning that she would love to do her own thing.
And she said she wanted to focus on fashion. And the platform,
but
real open.
Well, part of what made her a star was her ability to interact with the ensemble, right?
Yeah, the way she was like from the very beginning was like very blunt and wasn't afraid to show up in a way that was
it was how different she was than everyone else.
Totally. And also how she treated these like long, as you were saying, like the long-standing relationships where it's like if she brings random people on a new cast and is mean to them, then that's just being mean. Like it's like you just met someone and now you're just like a mean person.
If she starts her own show and she like brings all these other people to like, you know, kind of peons or whatever, and she just starts
versus there's the element of like
you're a bullet. Yeah.
There's the element of like oh wow, this is really like deep rooted if it's like
but the
someone
thing
you've
is,
known
season
for
1,
so
she and Mary
long.
were still close. You know what I mean? It's like
Well,
we had all those scenes of the two of them drinking wine and
Ah.
walking their dogs. And the issue between her and Mary in season 1 was when Chrishell came in. And Christine said this. She's like, my idea of loyalty is I kill someone, you grab a shovel. And she didn't feel like Mary was loyal to her. She felt like Mary was more loyal to Chrishell. That's like the crack in the marble, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. But
yeah.
And then it became this whole thing.
But that's where it's like if she were to make a new show, I would be scared to trust it because then it's like, so is she being nice to these people so she can have like this like long-standing relationship?
Oh, yeah,
from
like
the
if you're
first
saying if we saw like a different side of Christine, like a sweet and an endearing mother figure, you'd be like, bitch, I don't know. Like,
I don't know about that. Like we've seen the other side.
It'll be interesting.
It will be.
But I wonder if Selling Sunsets making a mistake.
Yeah.
But what's juicy about it is like clearly there was like a falling out, right? Because she is the star. I mean, she is a huge part of the show.
They claimed it was mutual. Do we believe that?
It's never mutual. Ever. No breakups are mutual. There might be
I
like...
don't think it would have been like 50-50 per se, but I think she could have had concerns, which she's voiced on media tours and in her book, of how she was being treated by production, by Adam. She might not have been ready to throw in the full towel, but...
Sure.
Yeah, I wonder if she kind of like stated a deal breaker.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're not going to do that.
Do you think, around the room, we'll start with you, do you think the show who do you think will regret the breakup more? Like, who will win this breakup, so to speak?
Ooh.
I think
As time passes, will win or regret it?
I think the show will regret it. Like already since she hasn't been a part of the cast, I feel like on social media she's been thriving so much more and like gotten into the fashion industry and made all these like new friends. And
I kind of agree with you. I mean, that's the thing also too, is like your hero is only as ever good as your villain. And so you can't, the Chrishells, who I consider a friend, love Chrishell. What made Chrishell so likable is like the juxtaposition of having Christine. And so like,
Where's that contrast going to come from?
Where's that contrast coming from? And do we see like Chrishell's like the biggest star on the show now? And could the women turn on Chrishell? Could Chrishell be a villain? Because, you know.
Well, I also think that,
I don't know. Anything's possible.
because that was sometimes a point of drama was the way that Mary was getting more listings and the romantic history element. And so I feel like that's a really effective mechanism, is this idea that romantic relationships are changing the way someone treats you at work. And especially now that Chrishell has dated Jason, if Jason dates another one of the realtors, that isn't like, that's your drama right there.
Is this new girlfriend of Jason's going to be part of the show?
I haven't heard anything. We're adding 2 new age. I say we. I'm one of the cast members. They're adding 2 new cast members, one of which actually has been on the show before. She's a long-term friend of Jason and Mary's. She married Mary and Romaine in the episode. She was at the bachelorette party. The other one is Nick Cannon's baby mama.
I'm interested in that.
Bree? Yeah, I think her name is.
Which
yeah.
one?
So those 2 are being added.
Baby
One
mom.
of.
Yeah, her name is Bree, I
Her
believe.
name is Brie.
Yeah. So either they
Plus
could be.
the new girl that Christine brought on before. What's her name?
Chelsea?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, do we think that
Chelsea could be an easy, should like try to shove her in a villain role. Because she
Too
and
forced.
Christine had such similar mannerisms, I thought.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. She will be missed. All right, R.I.P. Well, on to bigger and better, Christine.
Oh, 100%. She'll be
But
fine.
she will be missed by the Selling Sunset cast.
That she will.
All right, it's time for texting office hours. How's it going?
Good. My name is Mallory. I'm 27.
Hi, Mallory. How can we help?
So I need help shooting my shot with this guy. I think I probably have about a 50-50 chance that he's interested.
Okay.
So we met about 1.5 years ago through a mutual friend, and I think she was trying to set us up. She never really directly said it. I'm not that close to the mutual friend, but we hung out a few times in a group setting, and she invited him because she wanted me to meet him. And then she asked me what I thought of him after a couple times, and I told her, I think he's cute, but at the time I was trying to not focus on dating just because I've been focused on that for so long. And I was like, I'm just happy being single. I don't want to try to force anything. And she said that he was in a very similar place and that he wasn't really the type to make a move, or that he wasn't going to make a move. And I do know that he's kind of a quieter, maybe more shy guy. So I didn't really think much of it, but if I'm being honest, I think deep down I was hoping that he would be interested. So we hung out a couple times in a group, and then one night we were at a bar and he invited me over for another drink. So I went over there and we had good conversation. We talked for a couple hours, had a lot in common, and then I lived close by, so he offered to walk me home, and we hugged goodbye, and he said something like, let's hang out again, or let's do this again. So I assumed that he would, after that, ask our mutual friend for my number, but he never did, and I never really heard anything else from her, and I wasn't close enough to our mutual friend to really ask about it. So we hung out once more after that in a group, and then shortly after that he followed me on Instagram, and he would occasionally reply to one of my stories, but didn't really keep the conversation going. He would reply to my story, I would respond to what he said, and then he would just heart the message or whatever. And the last time we had any communication was maybe 5 or 6 months ago, and since then I've seen him on dating apps, so I know he's still single, and I think that's kind of what triggered okay, I should make a move because I'm still thinking about him after all this time. So the reason I say I think I have a 50-50 chance is because he had all the opportunity to show interest in me if he wanted to, but I just have this feeling that because of his personality and because of what she had said, that he's not the type to make a move, that
Sure.
I possibly have some chance. So I wanted your perspective on number one, if you think I should go for it. And if so, I kind of want to do it in a natural way. I don't want to just message him out of the blue hey, want to get a drink? So there is a show coming up at the end of October with an artist that I know we both follow. So I thought somehow maybe I could work that in. But I just wanted to get your perspective on it.
I think, why not? There's no reason not to try. I think to your point, you're right. You don't really know. There's a lot of possibilities. And even though your friend or your mutual friend who said he's more reserved, that definitely could end up being just something she said and you're reading into it. But the point is you don't know if you're reading into it. You know.
I really don't know much about him at all.
And so you have a concert coming up that you want to take him to?
Well, I just thought that's a potential in, since we haven't talked in so many months, that if I said, hey, I just saw that there's a show coming up, I know you also follow this person, would you want to go? I thought that's maybe one way for it to be a little more natural.
Sure, but it also could come across you've been thinking about him too much in the past 5 months and planning concert dates with him. I think, when is this concert?
It's not for 2 months, end of October.
Perfect. We have plenty of time. So that's a good thing to have in your back of your mind, but is a goal of the thing you take them to. But I would just kind of set that aside for now.
Okay.
Why do you, why, like, what's your fear of just like reaching out? Like, what's the harm in that? Because you were like saying, I want it to be more organic. Like, yeah, I get it. Ideally, you don't have to run into him at the grocery store and be like, oh my God, you? Like, should we go out? Like,
I think my fear is what you just said, that it would be like, oh, I've been thinking about you, and all of a sudden I'm just messaging you out of the blue. Like, ideally, he would like post something and then I could respond to that, but he's like not on Instagram that much.
so if you DM'd him, would you not have the confidence that he got it?
I think he would, but I would feel like he was thinking that I was like thinking about him all this time.
On some level, you're going to have to like let him know that he was on your mind.
Yeah.
Like, but there's a difference between like, hey, like a joke, like, you know, like he showed up on your Explorer page or something, or like maybe he did pop into your head and that you were compelled to reach out. That's chill. That's fine. That's different than being like, I have this concert in 2 months and I thought we should go.
Point taken.
So yeah, I think we just DM him. Go on his Instagram right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
What am I looking for?
Just like a picture where there's things going on.
I'm intrigued where you're going with this.
He does like tennis.
Okay. So like, I'm just saying, you send him like there's a picture of a tennis. I don't know. Like you send him the picture in his DMs, and then you ask him a question about something in the picture.
Wait, also, what if you were like, hey, I want to get into tennis?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to teach me tennis? I know it's kind of infantilizing, but I still think it could be fun. And then you're doing like, you know.
Here.
One of my friends who was into this guy who played like basketball or whatever went into all the basketball accounts that he was following and would like put post notifications on for all of those accounts. So when they would post, she would like them, and then he would see her liking them, and then he actually reached out and was like, "Oh, you like this? Like I saw you're liking this."
That's a lot of effort.
That is a lot, but it's also
I'm saying
that's like Jedi mind trick.
But what if there's like rather than sending something from his profile, what if there's like a bar or somewhere that you want to go if they have an Instagram? Like, couldn't she send like a restaurant or a bar's Instagram to him and be like, hey, do you want to try this place out on Friday?
I mean, that's sure she could do that.
I just feel like that's a little more
what
direct
if she sent
than like
the concert
tennis.
like thing. You know what I mean? Do you only know that he likes this band because he follows them, or did you guys talk about it?
No, it's just because he follows them. And they're kind of obscure. Like, he's the only other one of my followers who follows them.
Yeah, so keep that in your back pocket. I think here's like, you know, you kind of started by saying, well, I don't really want him to know that I've been thinking about, like, I want it to be casual. And I feel like you got to find the balance. Like, you know, yeah, could you send him a restaurant and just be like, hey, let's go out, let's grab another drink? Sure, you could totally do that. And probably, you know, if he's interested, it'll probably work. But I just think there's something to be said about, like, you want him to know you're flirting with him, right? Like, it should be assumed.
Asking him out for a drink makes that clear too.
No, I know, but you keep it a little coy. It's like he knows, but you don't know. That's the fun part of dating and chasing in DM, is that little game of like, I mean, she wouldn't reach out if she's asking about tennis. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think that kind of game of like getting a message from a girl you've went on 2 dates with that you haven't talked to in 5 months, and she's just like, let's go to Craig's or whatever.
Also, I feel like she's like, you've already
official.
done that already. Like, an activity would be great at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Showing a different side of yourself.
You could make a joke. Like, now it'd be good for a joke, acknowledging that you haven't gone out for 5 months. Like, be like, hey, I know, like, we really need to like take some time to like figure out how the second date went, but I think we're ready for our third. You know, something like playful.
And to be clear, we never went on a date. We only hung out in group settings, except for that one time when it was like very casual at his house.
So maybe a joke about like, I'm ready for our first date. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you're seeing if he has a sense of humor. Like, you're clearly joking. This is one of those things you can always have the confidence that like, you can't fuck this up. He's either interested or he's not, right? And if he's not, then like, wouldn't take it personally. He might not be interested for all the wrong reasons, but you can't convince him if he's not willing to give you a shot, right? Like,
yeah. And I have nothing to lose. I'm never going to see him again.
Yeah. I vote a kind of a casual DM slide that's not so like we should go here or win here, but like maybe make like without being like I've missed you, I've been thinking about you. You just say, what should she say?
What did you guys like have a notable drink where you could be like, hey, we got to get back on the rum and cokes? That sounded so lame when I said it aloud. But like,
yeah, and I know that he's like interested in making drinks. Like he's into bartending, not as his job, but just like for fun.
oh my god, like
send
a
him
little
a recipe.
mixologist.
Yeah, that's such a good idea.
Be like, I found this insane cocktail recipe and thought of you. Like, when can
I
I come
love
over?
the thought of you. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So now we
If
are.
someone did that
everything.
to you, like, what would you think?
Well, it comes down to if he's interested or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so it
agree.
really doesn't matter.
But that's true. In this particular case, there's not like an ongoing conversation of like, how do we respond in this situation? Yeah, it ultimately.
What if you look up, there's
Doesn't
got to be like
matter.
a cocktail account that's posted recently.
For sure. And then
And
you
then
just
what, do
send
I, like,
it on
ask him to make it for
Instagram.
me?
Yeah. Be like, want to try this out this weekend?
Oh, or it could be like to see if he's interested. You could be like, you should like saw this and thought you should make it. And then if he says together, then you're in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure.
Like,
You don't
you're
wanna
really
keep
leaving the
forcing
door
it.
open for him.
Yeah.
But the question
Yeah.
is,
But
if
do we want to?
Well, the question is like,
But
if
that might
he
be a little
doesn't,
too casual for someone she hasn't talked to in 5 months. Like she is like kind of like trying to resurrect
Yeah.
a thing. So I think
Okay.
you do need to be a little bit more forward, especially with a guy who's not. You know, like I think that's a great plan with someone you know is a little charming and kind of.
But does it need to be like, let's say we send this drink idea. There's like 2 options. One is a thought of you and think we should make this together. Or just be like, send it, be like, we should make this. That's it.
And this particular one, I like the second first because the I thought of you is a little heavy in this scenario.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think just sending it
We
and
should
being
make
like, we
this.
should make this.
Yeah.
that's
There's like
fun.
no harm, no foul. Like
And we like that better than like a joke teasing about the fact that like they haven't hung out in 5 months, but she's reaching out.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think.
What could you say with that?
She
though?
could always follow up with a joke afterwards. Sorry, I'm trying to find her a cocktail to send.
Allie's doing research.
I love it.
But I do think it's good to send it one specifically
Yeah.
because like the we should make this is so casual.
Yeah.
It's not like being like, will you do this for me?
Yeah,
It's like
agreed.
it's a definitive like, let's do this together.
And you don't think that's too like forward after going so long without
You might as
talking?
well be forward and
It's
see how he
it's
responds.
more random
do
than
something.
forward. I don't think it's too
Lukewarm
forward. You're
and
literally
not
just
get a
saying we
response.
should do this.
Yeah.
It's just a little random because he hasn't heard from you.
But it leaves so much like if he responds in a great way, then like you have that date set.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to being like, oh, I thought of this and blah blah blah. And then it's putting it in his hands. You know what I mean?
That's true.
She's right. Yeah. You can't, you don't have much to lose. And at the end of the day, he should figure out all we really want him to know is that you are interested in going out with him. Like it should come across as at least like flirtatious, especially if we're talking about a guy who's like not picking up on like signals. Maybe you need to be a little bit more direct with this
Yeah.
guy without being like, I've been thinking about you.
I could also like wait until the next time he posts and then like try to start because I haven't replied to a lot of his stories. It's usually him replying to me. So I could
Wait.
try to like build conversations.
So wait,
first.
he's still replying to your stories?
He was for a while up until like a few months ago.
Okay. We don't want to
I
wait
like
for
our
that.
OG.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
We should make this. Do we?
Okay.
And I think like no exclamation points, no nothing. Just we should make this.
Definitely
Yeah.
no exclamation
Very
points. We don't want to be too
casual.
excited.
Yeah.
And definitely
No,
not
yeah.
a period
We
terrifying.
should make this all capitals.
Screaming.
Flame emoji.
Flaming emoji, like chef
Tongue out.
Confetti.
Yeah.
Oh, a chef emoji. That could be good.
Should I say hey or just
No,
we
no,
should
no,
make
we
this?
should make
we
this.
should make this.
Okay.
Throw it out
I
there.
love it.
No notes.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
We just made it perfect.
We just
Fine, and we can go back to perfect if it's
Okay.
still perfect. but
We're gonna listen.
I'm just-
we
we're
have
just-
to hear him out.
we're just brainstorming here. There's no bad ideas. and it still might be perfect, but my one concern is that it is just a little random. And I'm wondering if we incorporate both plans, like you have a soft open followed immediately by we should do this or we should make this. And it would be like a soft open, like we're like some sort of like, what prompted you, even if it's total bullshit, to like think of him? And it could be like his most recent picture. And maybe because like Instagram's fucked up, you can be like, I don't know, the algorithm fed it to me today. You know,
From 3 years ago.
that's his last post.
It was a while ago, yeah.
Oh,
Well, like
That would
his
be
feed
so
posts.
funny.
He posts on his stories like every
liking
once in a
it.
while.
Like, the algorithm showed me this today.
yeah. Maybe that's what you should say. Be like, I don't know, weirdest story. I just saw this post. Must be the algorithm. We should make this. I think it's hysterical.
That's unhinged. Sending
Really?
two
That's
different
a
links.
Sending
lot.
multiple.
links?
Yeah.
Two
Oh
posts.
god.
So there's no soft open up idea.
Not if he doesn't post frequently. She can't be like, how was your vacation? He's like,
Yeah.
2007? Like,
I don't know. Maybe it's like the next message is something that's like, consider this like a 5-month notice or like something about something acknowledge. I feel like the follow-up message
like-
could be.
We start random, he responds, then be like, so crazy. We haven't spoken, but we should do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we address it.
Then not dating
or like if
in
you're
5
like,
months.
I know it's been 5 months, but we should make this.
I like that. I like
I
that.
like that.
Yeah.
That's the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I know it's been 5
Okay,
months.
I like that.
Wait,
But
but
we
is
should
saying
make this.
exactly 5 months like a little weird?
I know it's been a
Maybe
while,
It's been a while.
I know it's been a while.
More general, I like that
I know it's
too.
been months.
but I've been dying. To
I
make
know
this
it's
happen.
5 months
been
and 4 days,
100,
yeah.
400, and 8 hours.
Yeah. But we should make this.
tonight.
Okay, I like that plan.
All right.
All right.
Let us know how it goes.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
All right.
Good luck.
All right. Good luck.
Okay,
Bye bye.
bye.
How's it going,
I'm doing good. I'm Casey. I'm 24.
Casey? How can we help?
All right. So a couple months ago, I matched with this girl on Hinge. She actually matched with me first, and then I matched back immediately. Like super into her. I'm kind of tall. I'm like 5'9", so it's kind of tall for a girl. And my preference is shorter or not shorter. Like so, it's kind of hard for me to find a girl that's my height or taller. So immediately I was like, oh my God, she's 5'11". I don't know what to do with myself. So basically we were texting like nonstop for like a week straight. And it was really good. The conversation flowed really well, which is super important to me when the conversation like flows nicely. And then all of a sudden she just kind of stopped texting. I gave it like 5-6 days because I didn't want to seem like too eager. So I gave it some time and then I texted her and I was just kind of like, you know, are you ghosting? Did you just lose interest or are you busy? Like what, I just kind of wanted to know what was going on. And she was just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, my cousin's in town. I'm busy. Sometimes she threw at me. Sometimes I just stop talking to people
Nope.
out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay.
And congrats, you're one of those people.
Right. Oopsie. I guess I am. So I was like, all right, well, that's fine. She didn't say she wasn't interested. So I was like, okay, I guess we're just fine now. But then it started again. She just wasn't answering. So I was like, okay, we're done. Like, it's only been a week and a half. So I was like, you know, I'm not sad. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed because I was really excited. And then all of a sudden she starts, like a couple weeks after that, she starts Snapchatting me. We were mainly DMing on Snapchat.
You're back on Snapchat. She started.
Yeah, so she's Snapchatting me again.
What is she
Yeah.
Snapchatting you? Just like conversation? She's like, hey,
Yeah.
or like we like
Well,
sending
she
nudes
started
or
Snapchatting
something?
like normal Snapchat. So it was just like pictures of her dog or like what she's doing for the day. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're friends now. So I was just confused.
Just randomly
but I'm
sending-
also excited because she's talking to me again. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take what I can get. So we're just Snapchatting. A few weeks go by and I'm just kind of like, it's flirtatious, but it feels more flirtatious on my end than on hers. So I'm kind of just like really confused. And I kind of want to send her a text, like kind of getting to the bottom of it, because I guess I should like Hinge. I don't know if you guys know, has this feature now where you can put your relationship goals. So she put hers as figuring out her relationship goals. And I put mine as, you know, looking for long term, but open to short term. And she could be one of those people that kind of just, you know, scans through really quickly and doesn't really read everything. But like if she read, then you read like that what I'm looking for. So I guess I'm just really conflicted because I don't want to scare her away.
Why?
With this.
What do you like about her?
I like that she's driven. Like I am getting my master's degree. Like I've got this weird trajectory that's going up. And like I kind of want to be with someone who's kind of on a similar path. And
Okay.
she's also getting her master's degree. So it's like we have similar goals there, and we have a lot of the same interests, like music.
Okay.
We have a very similar sense of humor. Like I said, her height is a big deal to me, as weird as it sounds. Like it's really nice to find a girl that's as tall or taller than me. So, I mean, I don't know. I just got really excited.
Those are nice
for some reason.
Nice things, but you can find those
Yeah.
with others. Also, just spitballing here, but like, while it's nice to like have someone like specifically your career goals, like your master's, like that's awesome that you have these ambitious goals, and it's going to obviously take work. You want people to support you. And it's nice to be dating someone that like you can relate to, but I would argue that it would be more important that to be dating someone who more than anything is just like really in your corner and really supportive of you, because you could be dating someone who's just as ambitious and have similar goals, but like they're too focused on their ambitions and their goals, and they're too into like what they want to do, and they don't have like the emotional space or empathy to really give a shit about yours. So
yeah, that's true.
That's something to consider.
I don't only care about, I guess it's also more about somebody who understands. If that makes any sense. Like,
yeah,
if I, you know, am working and then I have school and like I have this and that, like it's to have somebody who gets that is really nice too.
I mean, I think what you do here is you try to get your goal should be getting clarity here, because like you said a couple times, you're confused. And I don't know if you should spend too much more time investing in someone who's really only made you feel confused and shorter.
Have you guys ever tried to meet in person, or has it only been online?
I've tried. We actually had like a date or like
so we never
hangouts.
met her in person yet.
No.
Do we
She
know
could be lying
they're
about her
real?
height.
Do we know they're real?
Yes.
Have you
I've
faced?
seen. She sent me like Snapchat videos of her talking.
But
so I assume
you haven't
she's
FaceTimed her.
Oh,
No,
FaceTime.
no.
It's just good for you to know that unless you meet someone in person or at least FaceTime, we live in a world that like you just gotta just know that like you could be getting catfish. Like it's a real thing. I'm not saying this is probably what's going on, but like her behavior is random.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, what does that even mean? I just stop talking to people sometimes. That's a weird thing to say. Well, yeah, I know you don't know because none of us know. It's weird.
Say honestly, I've totally done that. And it's been when I was in kind of like it's been when I was dating, it was from a place of kind of like avoidance, distraction, or like I was just like a little flighty, like a little unfounded, where it was like kind of like sometimes I have the capacity to do this and it feels like it would be great, and then other times I absolutely don't, and then I would feel like a sense of guilt because I knew it was really fucking shitty to like stop talking to someone out of the blue and to be like using them as like only be considering when I wanted to talk to them. And for me it was just like an indication of like I was just at a very like volatile, like a lot of different things going on and wasn't sure, like definitely was not dating with intention.
Sure.
Yeah, I kind of just wish that is exactly how this feels, honestly. And like, I don't want to like judge anybody for feeling that way, which is why I kind of was just like, okay, sure, that's weird, but like, whatever. But at the same time, I gave her like the opportunity to tell me exactly what was going on. And that's all she said to me. So I was like, you didn't.
Yeah, I think you should reach out, shoot your shot. I don't think you should even try to be all that creative. Like, this is someone you've matched with, you've invested a lot of time with, they've gone, they've come back. It's really over Snapchat. I'm just saying, like a one like I don't think it's a catfish, but catfish is often will pull away when you like ask, like they're very clever on how they like come and go in and out of your lives, and it just makes no sense to why is this person who doesn't know you and you don't know them sending you like random dog pictures about their life.
I can see where it's like, I'm gonna cut off these people because I'm studying for like my cousin's here, blah blah blah, and then you're sitting alone, bored, and then you're like, oh
Yeah.
picture of cup, let's get it and like start it up again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's catfish.
been very,
I don't
like-
think so.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's a catfish. I'm just saying I think there's more unknowns than knowns.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
you've been trying to get a lot of information. Like you've tried to
Yeah.
hang out with them. You've put in this effort. So what I'm saying is I think you put out one more last ditch effort, which is like, hey, let's grab coffee this week. I'd love to finally get to meet you. Or if nothing else, hey, how about we have like a FaceTime date or something to like advances this relationship? Because right now you just have this like mystery pen pal who like is like, confusing you and like keeps you preoccupied, but it's not going anywhere. And like you shouldn't be investing this much energy with someone you have never met on a dating app.
I wonder if in the message you can kind of call out the behavior without being too shady. Because because that's the thing where it's like I felt when I was behaving badly in that way, like I was the second someone like acknowledged it, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I was just distracted and busy and over,
Same.
And so I wonder if there's a way to just kind of be like set up like a, hey, do you want to get coffee? Or like if you can't, like, okay, this is a brainstorm. This is a starter pitch. This is not right. But like something being like, but like if you can't offer consistency, I totally get it. But like if you can't go a week without ghosting someone, like no worries. Let's just stop wasting each other's time.
I like it, but I feel like in this situation, it's like, I don't think we need the passive aggressive.
But I guess what I'm saying, is there a way to make it from passive aggressive to just like kind of just like acknowledging it?
I think we can
Sure, he
send
asked.
the original one of making a plan or offering something up. And if she responds with like a shutdown or no, I'm too busy, then maybe a response is, okay, well, let me know if your schedule ever opens up. But in the meantime, like I'm not just looking to Snapchat someone.
I mean, yes, you could say that, but I think it's unnecessary for you to have to say that. I think if you get the no, I'm too busy, I think you just like block them. I mean, unless I'm missing something.
And that's where you have to be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that because real or not, this person is already, it's like it's someone who is consuming a ton of your thoughts and energy, and you know nothing about them. You don't have a relationship with them. They're just someone you met in a dating app. And you've developed this crush on this person, and I get all the reasons why. You've articulated them. And that's a dangerous position to be in, to like have just enough information to crush on someone you really don't know. And they like dangle these carrots with these like just a little bit of validation and attention just so you can keep crushing on them. And it's fun. It's fun to have a crush. I get it. Like it's fun to just like, but at some point it just becomes something that again just starts frustrating you more. You go from being excited about a crush to just being like annoyed and confused. And then you're like asking your friends, and you're at that stage now. And you've already asked to like hang out. You haven't gotten that. So like you try one more time. And if not, then you just have to look at it as like this person doesn't want, you made it clear you want to hang out. You know, you don't need to like, I think you're wasting your time, and it's beneath you at this point to say, well, if you ever want to, let me know. Like you've already let them know.
Yeah.
So I think to get what you really want, you're going to have to, like Ellie said, like have a little strength and like bet on yourself. Right now, you are just completely at her mercy, at her convenience, when she wants to reach out, when she wants to message you. And it's kept you preoccupied because every time you get that snap or that text, it's that like dopamine hit of like excitement and like, ooh, like how exciting, And I get it. We've all been there. Like it's fucking fun to like be in the receiving end of the text that you were hoping to get, or the Snapchat you were hoping to get. But this is a person who seems to also enjoy doing that with you and having this control or power over you and coming and going when they please and not willing to like give you the things that you're asking for. And you're not asking for much. You're just asking to literally meet. So
But I want to make it clear in the text that I want to meet up, but like I have these certain intentions. Does she have the same intentions?
you're not
Are
even
we
there
just
yet,
friends?
though. You're not even there yet.
But that was going to be my
know.
question, is like, because I feel like I know a ton of my like when I would go on dates with like queer women, it's like very easy to just be like, okay, we're not vibing in a romantic way, but like let's be good friends. And like it's so, I think that is so common and pervasive that I do think it is a little bit more warranted to be like, hey, like checking in. Like, you interested in like making this like a date or a friend date or something?
Well, how about what if she did this?
It's less socially normal for me to do that with a guy, where it's like,
but I guess
with a girl, it's like, you could be friends, you could
totally
be, so I totally understand.
I guess I'm just still struggling with the fact that she's not friend, girlfriend, whatever the dynamic is.
Yeah.
You should meet them.
Yeah.
So whether it's a friend or a romantic partner, this is a lot of energy you're investing in someone who's like very unavailable to you.
So true.
So I think, correct me, and like you let me know what you ladies think, but what if you put yourself out, you message them and say, hey, listen, I've really enjoyed talking to you. I look forward to it. I've had a lot of fun. You seem great. You seem. Don't say you are great, because you don't know. Let them know that there's more to think. But so I would love to get together with you. I'd love to, let's grab coffee. Let's grab a FaceTime and see what she says to that. Express that you've enjoyed it. Express that you like her, what you know so far, and then see if she's willing to take a next step. And if she's not willing to take a next step, there's definitely a reason why.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you.
And then you need to put yourself in a power position where it's like, I always like to have someone question, do I even like them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do I, like, although they're good looking and have all these features that I really like when I meet them, do I even like them? Like, that's where you need to get. You know what I mean?
Because right now, to Ellie's point, is like she is making you chase. And when you're the person who's always waiting, always chasing, always hoping that they hang next to you, those people are often never actually even thinking about if you like them, because you're just, you're worried about her validating you.
Oh, that's gold. That's so good. So now we need to draft a text.
I think she should say, this is great. I love, hey, I really enjoyed talking with you, but I'd love to meet you. Like, I want to see where this can go. Yeah. Like, I think you have to say, I think you need to name that you want more from this. However you want to name that.
Or yeah, if you're like I would love to hang out.
So tricky.
Even if it's just like friendship vibes.
Can't we just treat it like a text? Do you have her
Absolutely,
number?
but it's like,
I do have her number, yeah.
So don't snap her, text her.
Text her.
Yeah.
Yes,
text
yes.
Her. Okay.
Great idea.
Be like, hey, I've really enjoyed our conversations. I look forward to hearing from you. Or you could even say, I need to meet you to keep doing this, whatever this is. Because if they have excuses, it's like, pay attention to their excuses if they say no. And then ask yourself,
I have to meet up with you to keep doing this?
Well, I think you could be more like, hey, I love what we're doing. I'd like to, like, okay. Do you know if they're local?
Yeah. She's like 20 minutes from me.
Yeah, Nick, pick a place. I love this place. I'd love to take you there.
Okay.
Ask her out on a date.
This is through text, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're talking. Great. They're talking like as if they're in this, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you guys are talking on a regular basis where you've been on 4 or 5 great dates, and you're like, maybe haven't defined the relationship, but they're like talking on the regular. Yeah. And maybe they've hooked up a few. None of that. They've just met on a dating app, and then this weirdly got into this like relationship. It's like she's trying to build a relationship with you via Snapchat. And whether you're being catfish or not, that is definitely how catfishes operate. And if she's not a catfish, then she's either in a relationship with someone else. There's a reason why this person who wants to have this ongoing relationship with you via messaging doesn't want to meet you. The point is, express interest that you liked her and you've enjoyed it. Yeah. Be nice, but be direct and assertive and unflexible that you want to meet.
Should I say like a specific day?
I think,
or just whenever. More
like, I think you could offer a specific place. Hey, I love this place. I'd love to show you. Maybe she'll be familiar with it. Maybe she won't.
Then I'm just gonna send this now.
Great, love that.
Let's see how it goes. Cool.
What are you sending?
All right.
What are you sending? Let's do it. Let's draft it.
All right. So, hey, I really enjoyed talking with you. I'd love to meet you, but I want to see where this could go. I love hanging out, but I need to meet up with you to keep doing this with you.
Take out the let's see where it goes.
Okay.
I think you just say, just the first part you have is great. The other stuff.
But she said, I love hanging out. Should you say like, I love talking?
Yeah.
I'd love to hang out.
Okay.
I said, okay. I really enjoyed talking with you. I'd love to hang out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But I need, okay.
No, that's it. Delete the rest.
That's it.
How about, what's your favorite restaurant or place or coffee shop that you know of?
It's called The Glass Knife.
Great. Like, I have this cute place called The Glass Knife. How about we go sometime next week when you have some time?
Great.
Give her like a week's enough window that like she can find some time.
I know this cafe called The Glass Knife that I love. How about we meet up next week?
Perfect. Send.
So good.
Bada bing, bada boom.
There it goes.
And then if she responds with some sort of bullshit excuse, then you say, well, I need this for us to keep doing this respectfully. Like,
Okay. So the follow-up should be, well, I need to meet
we'll put
up
it this
with
way.
you
Your
to
follow-up
continue.
should be you enforcing this boundary. And your boundary is you're not going to keep hanging out with this, investing in this person who's not willing to meet you in person.
Okay.
And there is no excuse that works. Nothing.
All right.
You know?
All right.
I don't care if someone's in the hospital, you know. and
All right.
if it's a catfish, they're really good at these excuses. No excuse.
Ooh. I'll be interested to
And
see
whatever
what
the
she
excuse
says.
is, you can calmly say, listen, that's fine. When you're ready to meet in person, let me know. Until then, we don't need to keep doing this.
Right. So are we doing that, or are we blocking her like if she doesn't want to meet?
Well, if you can't stop yourself from not replying, you should block her.
Okay.
If she makes plans with you and then flakes, block her.
Okay. All right. Now we just wait.
All right. Good luck. Let us know. I'm dying to
Good
find out.
Bye. Good luck.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Ellie, this is so much fun.
So much fun.
Thank
Thanks
you for coming.
having me.
Yeah. Can you please let the people know where they can follow you, enjoy all the fun stuff that you're doing on TikTok, Instagram, anything else you're working on that you want to tease? Now's the time.
You can find me at my name. It's Ellie Zeiler. And yeah, that's pretty much
On
it.
all your platforms?
Every platform.
I'm so jealous of people like that.
That get the like.
I fucked up on Twitter.
Oh yeah, like Viall, Nicholas 28.
Yeah, I can never find Nick on Twitter.
It's gross. It's gross. Well, thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@castmedia.com. Cast with a K for all things Ask Nick, whether it's Mondays, texting office hours, even mediation. Be sure to follow Ellie, and then we'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching, but before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos like our Mondays Ask Nick for your favorite relationship stories and advice, and our Tuesday Bachelor Recaps. See you next time.